Okay, I got a wild hair, and I had an idea for something that I want to do. This idea was brought on by the chaos that is my art room these days, and I need to get rid of some stuff that I have been piling up and not putting away. I have a box that I keep next to my work area. This is the box, and in it is parts and pieces and scraps and completed projects and things that I have worked on recently and I'm done with. You know, they're excess, they're leftovers or whatever, and they need to be put away. Everything in here has a place where it lives. I'm just too lazy to put it in its place. And just the thought of having to sort through and separate out everything and put it where it belongs, that doesn't make me happy. I don't want to do that. So before this gets out of hand, I really need to do something with it. So I decided what I'm going to do is use some of this stuff, mainly a lot of, these are little bitty parts and pieces. I'm going to use a lot of those, and then those should go in a little bitty thing. There we go. And then this stack of papers and paper towels and almost really trash type stuff. And the rest of this can just wait its turn. And some of y'all are going to be like, oh no, that's not trash, that's really good collage fodder. And you're right, yes it is. But you get to a point where you have so much of this kind of stuff saved up that you start to question your sanity if you continue to accumulate it. So yeah, I throw out stuff that a lot of you might keep, and that's fine. You know, when you get to the point where you've got so much and you're not using it up as fast as you're accumulating more, then it's okay to throw it away. So these things, some of these things I really was just gonna toss, you know, like, okay, I have a drawer full of things like this. Do I really need one more? No. You know, I was gonna toss it. Had some of this stuff all ready to toss, and then thought, you know what, there's enough here, I could probably make a book or something out of it. Alright, so then, this is my thought process. I came in here or started looking around to try to figure out, you know, what kind of a book I could make, what the construction would be like, all of that. And then I got frustrated at my drop paper work area here because it was just a mess. It had, you know, crumbs and paper scraps all over it. So I started separating the papers to clean it all off. And some of y'all have commented before that it looks like this is really padded and squishy. It is. And it's only because I have tons of papers stacked up here. And these are all different kinds. Some are some old real estate plats that a friend gave me. There's some moving paper. There may be newspaper. There's some finger paint paper. You know, just anything that you use for drop paper. I make a big stack of it, and the reason I do that is so that when I'm working on something and this page gets way too painty or wet, you know, and it's starting to mess up my project, I just take a handful of the papers, flip them over, I've got a fresh one, okay? And then the one with the paint on it, yeah, it's probably going to stick to the one next to it, and that's okay. The next time I flip, it'll just be double thick. You know, don't worry about them sticking because these are drop papers, so we don't have to freak out about keeping them all pristine. So I was sorting through my drop papers, getting rid of all the paper crumbs and glue blobs, you know, crud like that. And I found that I had quite a few small pieces like this, which probably started out as larger ones, and I've just torn them up. So I assembled them. I just stacked them up like this and assembled them into, I think, what will become my book. I'm just going to put a simple binding on here, and then I'm going to take all of these annoying scraps that I don't want to bother putting away, and I'm going to add them to this book. So it's going to be kind of like a trash journal, but not completely, because some of this stuff wouldn't be considered trash. You know, that's not really trash. That's still a good piece of collage stuff. But it's stuff that is in the way. I'm not putting it back where it belongs. So it needs to be used, and it's going to be used alongside trash. I don't think anyone could deny that. Okay, some of us would keep things like this, but this isn't particularly pretty. It's kind of ugly. It's a baby wipe with paint on it, but you know, since it's not really pretty, I would throw it away. This will definitely be considered trash. It's going to be in here along with some of the more, you know, formal, like scrapbook parts and pieces. So it's sort of a hybrid trash journal, junk journal, scrap album. I don't know what. We'll have to make up a name or something for it. First thing I want to do is bind these together, and I'm just going to do it loose and casual because of what it is. This is not a formal fancy thing. So I've got a length of, this is not baker's twine, this is twisted hemp, which is way, way stronger than cotton baker's twine. And I did about 2 lengths, a little bit more. And I'm going to put it in this needle, and this needle is sharp on the end. Normally I use a blunt needle, like a tapestry needle or bookbinding needle. But I'm going to go ahead and poke my holes with this needle as well, so I've got a sharp one. And let's just do this. Okay, fold it in half. There's about the center right there, so I'm going to poke a hole right there. Looks good. Now I'm going to poke one about 1.5 inches from this end. Yeah, that's good. And about 1.5 inches from this end. And then about halfway in between these two, so like right there and right there. Okay, no, I didn't poke all the way through because I'm going to kind of poke as I go. Just, you know, we're doing casual. And I think I want to start from the outside, so I'll have a tail. And I'm going to start from the top, and I just decided this is going to be the top. And now I'm going to, yeah, see, everything got out of alignment, so I'll just poke a whole new hole, and that's fine. And I want to leave a little bit to tie right there. This is just an up, down, long stitch. So go into the next hole, which is, I'm feeling like it's going to be, yep, right there. And then the center hole. This one did not poke all the way through, so I'm just kind of guessing as to where that is, and it looks like it's maybe, it's close enough. And then the last one. And then we just come back up through, up, down, and through the same holes. You've seen me do this lots of times before. A pamphlet stitch would work fine, but since this is kind of a sizable book, I wanted a few more stitches in it so that it would maybe hold together a little better. There. Now, this last one, I don't go through because this is where I want to tie off. Alrighty. There we are. Now, we've got our book bound good enough. So we can start putting stuff in it. And I think what I'm going to do is use some diluted Elmer's. This is just white glue or PVA diluted with a little bit of water. And repeat after me, diluted Elmer's does not equal Mod Podge. Remember? It never has, it never will. It is simply watered down white glue. Alright, this is what we're going to use. And I'm just going to start with some of these pieces. Let's get the larger ones maybe. So that's what we're going to do. Boy, putting that first piece in is always the hardest, isn't it? Well, let's just get over it and do it. And I'm not going to worry about precision gluing because I anticipate that I'm going to have lots of layering. I'm seeing some painting going on in here. I don't know what all else. I don't know that I want any sticking together at this point, so I'm going to put a little piece of wax paper there. And then move on to something else, like that. That's nice. Is that one? I guess it is. I'm going to tear it. This is one of those cheap Chinese baby wipes that I've melted before, and I'm wondering what would happen if I tried to melt it with glue on it. This is the perfect opportunity to find out. And I said I was going to use the Elmer's, and I've been using Mod Podge. I tell you, I am not all with it these days, if you haven't already noticed. Yeah, just don't pay attention to what I'm doing. What I'm saying seems to be a little bit more reliable. Not much happened. Looked like the only thing that happened was in the places where there wasn't so much glue, which makes sense. Okay. Look. Just put that whole sheet there. And yep, I put it in upside down and crooked. Oh. Oh, look, it's bleeding, yay. I can glue and paint at the same time. You get the gist, right? You see what I'm doing? And then I'm just going to keep doing until I get tired of doing. I may pull out some paints or some other color mediums and play in here. So this is basically just another journal for no reason, that you can do what you want in with no expectations of completed pieces of art. Although, when you get finished, oh look, that had yes paste on it because it's goobering up. That's okay. We are going to work with whatever interestingness we find, and I bet we're going to find a lot of weirdness like that. Let's cover it, because that will stay gooey indefinitely. So I'm going to put this over it. Okay, I'll show you where I'm at so far, but before I do that, I have to tell you, when I started flipping through here, this started reminding me of one of my favorite journals for no reason, and that is this one. This Moleskine, which I used at one time for a paint wipe-off book. When the pages were all painty, I had gone back through and I added just some scraps and parts and pieces, just like I'm doing in this one, and then went in and added some more paint over it, which made it just a really weird, messy, strange, colorful, fun book. And this is still one of my favorites. And I think that this is kind of sort of what I want for this, because they started out the same way, just random blobs of paint on pages. Then I went through and started adding in the images and doing some more painting and some more stenciling and just, you know, randomness. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm feeling like for this. So I just added a few background papers here and there, and I'll show you. I am going to have to reinforce this spine because these papers are really weak and it's starting to tear through a little bit. So I may put like a duct tape strip over this, and I may end up having to put a strip of tape down the folds of each page later on, but that's fine, and I'll do that when the time comes, but it's okay for now. I just added a few scraps here and there, some larger, some not so much. Napkins. Dictionary pages, baby wipes, or no, paper towels. And more napkins and baby wipe pieces. Oh, that was a paper towel and baby wipes and dictionary page. And some of these paper towels, I use a lot of Viva. That's my favorite paper towels. And they're really thick and absorbent. So they soak up a lot of glue and they take a while to dry. Put that there just in case. And paper towels and a piece of I don't know what. And napkin. And more paper towel that's not dry. And this was one of these that got too much stuff on it, so then I use it as a collage piece. When these get too painty and gluey, then they become collage pieces. There's another one, which I didn't glue down all the way, and that's okay. And if I remember right, I think this is part of a sausage wrapper from the grocery store. It had cool paper in the wrapping. Book pages, baby wipes, and that's it. So just a few things added, and I've got a ton more, so we're going to revisit this maybe frequently since I am not inspired to do much of anything else right now. Like, I'm out of ideas, which is strange for me. I usually have way more ideas than I have time to execute them, and lately I've had nothing. Just literally nothing. So I'm excited about this. Okay. I still don't know what to call it. Maybe a new journal for no reason. I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go, and we'll do more later. The end.